Dorothy and her dog are swept from their Kansas farm to the magical land of Oz by a tornado. While looking for a way to return home, she tries to bring order to the world of Glinda the Good Witch and the Wicked Witch of the West. With the new friends she meets here, an interesting piece of information about the Wizard of Oz is that during filming, the scene was being shot in which the Wicked Witch of the West was supposed to suddenly disappear, and Margaret Hamilton, who plays the character, suffered second and third-degree burns on her face due to the poisonous gas released to create the illusion while passing through the secret door in the floor during the actor's recovery period. Her face had to be painted green with makeup so that shooting could continue. This gave rise to the iconic green witch figure. Jennifer and her father are burned at the stake for being witches in 17th century Salem. However, before they die, they curse Jonathan Woolley and his descendants for destroying them with this punishment. Hundreds of years later, Jennifer's spirit escapes and reappears, determined to find Wallace, the current representative of the Woolley family, and make this life miserable for him. Wallace is running for governor of Massachusetts and is about to get married. However, Jennifer falls in love with her nemesis when she accidentally drinks the love potion she made to seduce Wallace and ruin his life. A Manhattan witch casts a love spell on her neighbor, trying to get him to choose her over his fiancé. But of course, as in all witch TV series and movies in the romantic comedy genre, the plan backfires and causes things to get even more complicated. In 1630, as a woman is executed for being a witch, she places a curse on those who condemned her. 200 years later, she returns from her grave and begins a bloody campaign to possess the body of her beautiful look-alike descendant. Now, only the girl's brother and a handsome doctor stand in her way. Lord Whitman, who massacred witches in ancient England, earns the enmity of Una, the leader of the witch organization, and takes his revenge by sending Una's servant, Banshee, the young woman buys a Latin book written by a British architect from an antique shop in New York. As she reads the book, she learns that her own house was also built by witches. The terrified young woman invites her brother in Rome to stay with her. When Mark goes to New York to see his brother, he learns that he has died. A young boy named Max and his younger sister move to Salem, where they try to fit in before awakening 3 evil witches, who were executed in the 17th century. For children from the same family have to leave their town because of the bombings of Second World War. A woman and a professor take the children to their house. While playing a game of hide-and-seek, the youngest member of the family, Lucy, finds a wardrobe to hide in. She travels back and back into the wardrobe and finds a place named Narnia after going in twice. The 4 children go in together for the last time. They battle wolves, meet talking animals, encounter an evil white witch, and meet a magnificent lion named Aslan. The movie is about a baker and his wife who are cursed by a witch. The family, who wants a child but cannot have one, knocks on the door of a witch as a last resort. The witch asks the family to provide some materials for this. The couple, who goes on a quest in the depths of the magic forest, fascinates the audience with their mysterious adventure. William and Catherine attempt to live a devout Christian life, living in their home on the edge of an impenetrable wilderness, with their 5 children. The film tells the story of a family who begins to suspect their young daughter after their newborn baby mysteriously disappears. The Witch is a chilling portrait of a family, unraveled by their own sins, making them victims of unimaginable evil. Elaine, a beautiful young witch, is determined to find a man to love her. In her gothic Victorian apartment, she makes spells and potions, and then picks up men and seduces them. However, her spells work too well, and she ends up with a string of hapless victims. When she finally meets the man of her dreams, and she ends up with a string of hapless victims. When she finally meets the man of her dreams, her desperation to be loved will drive her to the brink of insanity and murder. The Love Witch explores female fantasy and the repercussions of pathological narcissism. When it comes to movies about magic and witchcraft, one of the first ones that comes to mind is Blair Witch, the film, which is among the scariest productions in the history of cinema. Begins with a documentary team consisting of 3 people going to the Black Hills forests to conduct research. The main goal of the team is to learn about the Blair Witch, which is rumored to exist by everyone. But the team quickly regrets it. Three high school girls have formed a coven of witches. They try to perform powerful magic, having north, east, and south, but lack a 4th witch to take the 4th corner, west of water. Lily begins at the same high school as her stepbrothers and the 3 witches. She has her first menses on her first day in school, making her the target of Timmy's ridicule. The 3 girls help her out in the bathroom. They become friends. They discover powers that they couldn't reach as 3, such as telekinesis, telepathy, later shape-shifting, freezing time, levitation, etc. Lily joins the coven. They take their revenge on Timmy using magic. A burned-out ex-Navy SEAL and an emotionally damaged firefighter work together as handymen in Tidewater, Virginia. Things turn surreal when a simple renovation job becomes a journey to another world to rescue their client from a transdimensional witch. Bent on revenge in this imaginative take on Grace Sherwood, the Witch of Pungo. A young boy named Alex becomes the prisoner of a witch. To avoid certain death, he convinces her to let him tell her a scary story every night. Upon meeting the witch's servant, Yasmin, the 2 must use their wits to escape her apartment, a magical labyrinth filled with various dangers, before the witch kills them both. A teenage outcast girl finds herself confronted by whimsical characters when she is transported into a world of fantasy and fairy tales while attending a school marionette show. She comes to realize her own imagination has an adventure already scripted for her that carries more wisdom than she could ever find alone in the real world. Among the witch movies you can watch on Netflix, an entertaining production is The Curse of Bridge Hollow. It tells the story of the Gordon family who moved from Brooklyn to the New England town of Bridge Hollow. Sidney Priya Ferguson soon realizes strange things are going on around them and tries to tell her family about it. But his father, Howard Marlon Wayans, a high school science teacher, has a hard time believing this. The young girl is forced to team up with her father the last person she would want to save their town. Two young women accidentally bring back the Sanderson sisters to modern-day Salem and must figure out how to stop the child-hungry witches from wreaking havoc on the world. The world may have been free of Winifred, Mary, and Sarah and the fear they invoked in us all. But what happens when you mess with magic? It messes back.